Quiet. Keep silent. I'm checking attendance. Ronaldo. Attila. Bastien. Bartolomé. Alejandro. Vishal. Justin. Peter. Peter? Is our Peter here? He's late again? Okay, let's start. I remind you the axioms defining an affine space that we have seen yesterday. For each 2 points A and B from an affine space S directed by vector space E, there exists a unique vector V equal to AB in E that satisfies AB and BA are opposite. AC is equal to AB plus BC. This is a triangle relationship. For each point A in S and each vector V in E, there exists a unique point M in S such as V equals AM. M is a translated from A by V. The main objects defining an affine space are points, lines, and affine subspaces. The basic operations on points are translations. We take a basis of the vector space and we choose a point in a affine space which is the origin. That is what allows us to define Cartesian coordinate systems centered at this origin and relative to this basis. If we want, enough, keep quiet, let's start again. If we want the space to be Euclidean, which means we can define distances and angles, the basis should be orthonormal. That is, each vector of the basis has length 1 and each pair of vectors are perpendicular to each other. Vishal, step up to the blackboard. Explain us what an orthonormal basis is. Perfect. Very good. Did everybody understood? If we take a point M with coordinates x, y, and z in the Euclidean space, its distance to the origin is square root of x squared and y squared and z squared. Euclidean space ignores the possibility to consider points at infinity. If we want to introduce the limit of a point at infinity, for example along a line, we can create the Desarguesian coordinate system allowing us to do geometry form x, y, z, capital X, capital Y, capital Z, and C in the following formula. X equals capital X over C, capital Y equals capital Y over C, equals capital Z over C. The coordinates with capital letters are defined up to a scaling factor and are homogeneous coordinates of a point M. And the usual points of the Euclidean space are those for which T differs from 0. If we abandon this condition, then T equals 0 defines all points at infinity. Notice that all 4 coordinates of the point cannot be now all together.
Thank you.